Hi queens, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Sexiest in the City podcast. I am your host, Fatima Z-Wan. So for this week's episode, I want to talk to you guys about how to unlock your full potential. You only get one life, and it's like you want to make the most out of your life. You don't want to sit and have mediocre life. So how to unlock your full potential right now. I gained a lot of weight during my pregnancy to where it was like I gained hella stretch marks. I've never been that big before in my life. When I gave birth, I was 201 pounds. And then after I gave birth, I was like a 180 or something like that. So I dropped all the way down to 117. I went through a whole glow up. I transformed inside and out. And a lot of people would ask me like, what did you do? How did you do it? And all this types of stuff. So today I want to talk to you guys in detail about exactly how I did it, how I went from point A to point B. Okay, so let's get into it. I decided that who I used to be was overweight, insecure, self-conscious. I was okay being a sideline character. I didn't give a fuck. I was just okay being mediocre. Like I just didn't really care about my existence. I was so worried about the outside world and just not actually intentionally living. I felt like I was kind of subconsciously living and just mindlessly like a fucking walking around like an NPC. That's whenever I realized in order to reach your full potential, you have to become a whole different person. The person that's going to make you be your full potential isn't who you used to be, because who you used to be clearly ain't motherfucking working. Who I used to be, those habits didn't serve me. I was super self-conscious. I constantly doubted myself, and in order to be who I needed to be, I needed to create an alter ego. That to me is the cure to insecurity. Like, of course, self-love. And in this week's video, I'm gonna do two parts this time. So I'm gonna have part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I'm gonna talk about creating your ego, and then part 2, I'm gonna be talking about protecting your energy. These two are the keys to rebuilding yourself and rebuilding your motherfucking life. So let's get into it. I have my notes here. Y'all know how it goes, so I'm gonna read off of my notes as well. So for number 1, for creating your alter ego, have your why first. This is really big because whenever there's moments of doubt and there's loss of motivation, you don't want to keep going, you need to have a reason why you're doing this, whether it's somebody you love. I think your biggest reason should be yourself. Think of yourself as like your inner child. You want to give your inner child everything you've ever dreamed of, right? You deserve it. So you should have your why before anything. So whenever you don't want to keep going, you have a reason to keep going, because then you're going to remember, this is why I'm doing this. So this is bigger than even me. So that is, to me, is the most important thing whenever you want to change any aspect of your life, is to have a reason why you're doing it. So think about your favorite TV show or your favorite movie, your favorite character, right? What about them do you like? Like the way they talk, the way they move, are they confident? Are they quirky? Why do you like your favorite character? So I think, to me, Catherine Pierce from The Vampire Diaries, like, she's my queen. To me, she's still number 1. I know y'all are gonna be like, bitch, what the fuck ass villain shit, but it's not really like the villain aspect. I really did love Catherine's confidence, and I love how like she always had a motherfucking plan. She had a plan A, plan B, plan C.
Do you honestly believe that I don't have a plan B? And if that fails, a plan C, then a plan D, and you know how the alphabet works, don't you? Send my love to Stefan.
She was very confident, very magnetic. Like, to me, she was a fucking baddie. Like, once you do that, that's whenever you can kind of incorporate it to your own life, because in a way, that's what stands out to you. Like, think about all these traits from people that you admire. Even if it's not a TV show character or a movie, think about somebody right now. You admire them a lot and you really fuck with their life. What about them do you fuck with? That's when we can start creating your alter ego. So how does she think? How does she act? You want to really ask yourself these questions so you can start becoming that alter ego, right? So if that alter ego is very hardworking, very passionate, very, like I said, outspoken, all these things, all these traits, really write it down in a journal. Journaling is a number 1 way to get in tune with yourself and to manifest, because you can get all these thoughts that are stuck in your head out. You feel like you're actually doing something and getting the ball rolling. Be extremely detailed about what you want, about your manifestations, especially with their alter ego. How does she walk? How is she confident? It's gonna feel really awkward at first, like especially when you start to step into that character. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel like you're faking it, and it's gonna be very uncomfortable. Like, that's completely normal. But as time goes on, you start to see the way the universe responds to you when you start actually becoming this character. Be extremely, extremely detailed. I remember whenever I was very overweight when I had my baby, I was at the lowest. I felt like I was in my moo-moos, hair was looking crazy, I didn't shave in months. Like, I was a fucking hot ass mess. And I had to sit there and ask myself, like, how does the baddie version of me act? What would she look like? Like, I got really detailed with it. I was like, I want straight teeth, I want a breast reduction, and I just realized like there was all these things that I just wanted to improve. Like, I wanted my body to be like a very petite figure. I got really detailed with it. Because when you do that, for one, it feels like you're shopping with the universe. You're like, okay, I want this and I want to have, you know, all these things, like really get detailed with it. That's like the fun part of manifestation, is just sitting there and shopping with the universe. What do you want? Don't miss out any detail. And then also be extremely fucking delusional. This one is like a big one. I think a lot of people stifle their manifestation because they're shooting too small. It's like, in your head, you might want something, but what you really believe about it is small. Like, you genuinely believe there's not a way I could do that in a year or in 2 years. Like, and you subconsciously whisper that to yourself. That's why your like manifestations don't show in a way. Because I think for a long time, if I don't get a manifestation that I'm trying to get, I notice that it's because I subconsciously fear that I might not get it. And that the emotion of fear is a low vibrational emotion. And when you're manifesting, you want to always keep states of high emotions and high vibrations to be able to attract the things that you desire, so it can match the frequency, right? Somebody that's sad, anxious, depressed, like all those low vibrations, it's very hard for very good opportunities to come to you because you're shielding yourself back in a way, right? So you want to be extremely delusional and believe that it can happen. So I want to tell you guys, I've never really talked about the way I manifest. I know everybody has different ways of doing manifestation, but this is what has worked for me. So I will get on my favorite song. So think about like your favorite bad bitch song or like a snippet of the song, and close your eyes and visualize yourself as if you were in like a TV show or like a movie, like in a film. Visualize yourself from third person as the baddest bitch that you could be. Like, you're playing with your imagination, and like I would see myself as like an edit, right? So when I was very heavy, I would maladaptive daydream, and I would just sit and I'd have my music and I would just imagine Hips Don't Lie by Shakira, all these little parts of a song. I would just imagine me being like a bad bitch and like walking and feeling so confident. And that's how I manifest, and that's how I've always manifested. I just like to daydream and like visualize, and I visualize with music because I do think music is a way to manifest things, right? And I do think music can be high vibrational if you allow it to be. Of course, there's like low vibrational music and shit, but really sit there and be really like imaginative. To me, it's so fun because you start to feel these emotions when you're daydreaming and like imagining that. You're like, you start to feel kind of like a little bit like uplifted and like happy because you start to feel like this is actually going on. Your brain, when you're thinking of something or you have a thought, your brain doesn't know if it's real or not. So your brain is just assuming that this is happening right now. So if you're sad or you're thinking about past memories, your brain is not aware they're past memories. They think you're reliving it right now. That's why sometimes, let's say you think about somebody that wronged you and you start to get hella mad as if like they just wronged you right now. Your brain does not understand, so it starts to send emotions and chemicals to your brain to signal like we're in pain, we're hurting. And so you're not even aware that this past event hurt you months or even years ago, but now your brain is feeling the pain now because it doesn't know that it was months ago because you're thinking of it now. So whenever you like close your eyes and you visualize yourself at this like high vibrational state, your brain isn't aware, so you start to feel these high vibrational emotions. And I do think that's a way to make your manifestations come faster, by feeling those emotions and feeling like it's really happening. You close your eyes, think of yourself as a fucking celebrity. People are like, oh my god, that's the bad, da, da, da. Or think of yourself, to me, it's like I close my eyes and think of like a glow up edit, like me like all insecure and shit, and then boom, I'm a bad bitch, and like the music, and I'm like oop oop oop, fucking velocity and shit. Like, it could sound so corny, but I'm so serious, you guys. That is another thing that I did to help me lose weight, and it kept me going. I was like, oh my god, wait, I need to reach that bad bitch. Like, whoever I'm imagining in my imagination, I need to become that queen. And that is my technique of manifestation. That's literally what I've done since I was in high school. I don't know why, if it was because I was really into edits, because I used to have like a fan page account. We would do edits. There was like a whole community. Like, we was vibing, bro. You just had to be there. I sit and I imagine what it would feel like and what it would look like to be that person and live that person's life, whatever it may be. Like, you're on a fucking beach, you're in the best relationship of your fucking life. Like, you could literally use this for anything. Just sit there, have some music, and really close your eyes. Or even if your eyes aren't closed, I mean, my eyes don't be closed. Sometimes I be just, even when I'm working out or on the treadmill or something and I'm just trying to walk, or I'm on just walking on my walk, I have my music in. What would you feel like if you had everything you wanted right now? Like, if you had the confidence, you had the money, you had the body, you had the love, like everything right now, if you had it right now, what would that feel like? And that's kind of what I was saying about the visualization and the manifestation. It's that same exact feeling. You're going to feel happy, uplifted. Knowledge is power, especially as a woman. and you want to absorb as much as you can, especially since we're young, our brains can absorb so much more knowledge faster. So like knowledge is power. And so when it comes to manifestation, it's really good to study the greats, study people that have genuinely made it far in life, and really get a little sneak peek into the way their brain thinks, like how they move. You could search up manifestation. There's so many celebrities that have created alter egos because where they wanted to end up, who they were at that moment was not going to get them at that spot. So they had to create an alter ego to get them there. So for example, we all know Michael Jackson, MJ. We all know with Eminem, Slim Shady, Beyonce, even though she was scary as fuck in that motherfucking Super Bowl, Sasha. We've seen celebrities talk about this alter ego that they've created so they could go on stage and perform as that alter ego. Megan Thee Stallion, Tina Snow, they've created this alter ego that helps them have that confidence. It's like their superpower. It's like their super cape, their iron suit. Let's say right now you're a very insecure person, you're very anxious. You need to create somebody that is strong, confident. Even though you might feel like that alter ego is like, no, we don't do shit like that over here. Their alter ego version of you is confident, very outspoken, a leader, all these amazing characteristics. So when you can embody that person, you can start walking on this earth like that person, and you start to become that person because you're showing up every day thinking and acting like that person. And that's like the quickest way to quantum jump. Like if right now you're a simple normal person and you jump into a quantum field where you're a fucking celebrity and everybody fucking knows you, it literally takes changing who you are to jump into that quantum field. And so in order to do that, you need to really feel that in your heart. And that really comes with like visualization and journaling and meditation and like really tapping in, studying the greats, study people that have done it and who have talked about manifestation and what they've done. Michael Jackson has talked about it, how he would journal. Y'all see his journal notes on how he would manifest. Like you see all these celebrities talk about it. So really go out there and learn and see and study the greats and see how they do it. So you can incorporate some of their advice into your own life and get even fucking further than they did. Life is really an exchange of energy. If you could sit down and look for it, the knowledge is out there. Everything is out there. I don't think people think you need money and investments and this, that to change your life. I think all you need is your soul and your spirit, and you're straight, queen. Like you good, you straight chilling. If you have your soul, your spirit, we can manifest whatever the fuck we want. If you think about it, the phone in your hand, the app you're using right now to watch this shit, if we go back 50 years ago, they didn't know what the fuck this was. So somebody that was no different than you created this shit. They were no smarter than you. They came into this earth with the same amount of knowledge as you did, but they went and they looked for the knowledge. They explored. They were thirsty for the motherfucking knowledge. Lean into your strengths, and then anything that's your weakness, try to build that up. For me, for example, I didn't like my upper body. I was like, okay, wait, my tummy a little big, my shit a little wide, my waist, my back looking crazy. It just was disproportionate. And so I was like, okay, that's my weakness. My weakness is my upper body. So let's go into the gym and start hitting upper body. If my strength is that I really love to deep dive on Google and go into these like loops, right? So use that strength to deep dive into things that are going to better my life, into knowledge that's going to help further me and excel me. So work on your weaknesses and strengthen your weaknesses and lean into your strengths. Most of all, I wrote here on my notes, repetition, repetition, repetition.
Repetition is the father of learning. I repeat, repetition is the father of learning. Intelligence, all that comes from repetition. Awareness, preparation, all that comes from repetition.
Repetition is going to get you so far in life, whether it's in the gym, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's at work, in your career. When you repeat something again and again and it's working for you, I'm telling you guys the progress that comes from that. You build muscle from repeatedly breaking down the muscle fibers, right? And rebuilding the muscle fibers up. That's how you build muscle. And it's the same thing with your mind. When you can go through challenging situations and you keep standing up and you keep going back and you work again and again and again and you get better 1% every fucking time, that is how you succeed. That is how you win. That is how you grow. That is how to create your alter ego. That is going to be it for part 1. Part 2 is protecting your energy. This one is a big one to me because energy is currency. At the end of the day, where attention goes, energy flows. And if you're putting your attention into things that are ROI, return on investment. So if you put your attention into the gym, into eating healthy, into creating healthy connections, into building your self-esteem and your self-love, into your money, into your career, when you can put your energy into things that will give you in the long run a good return on your investment, like I said, that's where your energy should be going to. But if you start to notice that your energy is going towards things that don't benefit you and don't serve you and are distracting you, you need to fucking cut that shit the fuck out your life. Because I'm telling you, the cost of not protecting your energy is the most expensive thing, because people can really fuck up your life because they don't give a fuck about their life. And I cannot stress this enough. People may look at me and think like, you're a fucking loner, like what the fuck, you got no friends, da da da. I don't care. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I feel like when you have so many friends, so many people whispering in your ear, like those are not your friends. There's no fucking way in hell you have 200, 300 friends. I don't believe it. I genuinely think you have to have a few friends max type shit that you really consider your people. Nowadays, people be befriending any fucking body and then wondering why you get stabbed in your fucking back because you're not protecting your fucking energy, because you care too much about what other people think rather than your own intuition and your own self. That's what it comes down to. Like, I'm so strict on this because I have seen myself in groups that have made me insecure, that have questioned my self-worth. And even with relationships, like anybody that does not benefit you or help you grow, and you vice versa to them, it got to fucking go. That's it. And at the end of the day, some people could think that's harsh, but nice guys finish last. And if you don't have boundaries and you don't set boundaries, people that don't have boundaries and goals for themselves are going to drag you the fuck down. I literally, that's like, at that point, I don't even want to promise it, but like, I'm not playing around about this shit. Protect your fucking energy. Really protect your energy. You need that energy to prioritize things in your life that matter to you, relationships that matter to you, not shit that's constantly having you stressing, your hair is getting pulled out, you crying, you feeling down in the dumps, the ray of sunshine looking like it's slowly leaving your face and shit. It gots to go. Snippity snip, dude. Like, it gots to fucking go. You cannot give a fuck about what people think or say, even if it's your own family, especially with the family. I know some of y'all, if you have a good relationship, I get it. It does not fucking matter. If it's not yourself, no. Of course, like I said, if you respect and you love them, you can take in their opinion and like, you know what I mean? But you cannot just always be listening to this and that. Oh my God, this person said this or this is. You need to stand strong on yourself and stand strong for yourself. And that requires you to not give a fuck about what people think or say. You need to trust yourself. You need to learn how to trust yourself. Learn how to have confidence in yourself to make the right decisions. And if you make a decision that doesn't work out for you, you trust that you're going to find a way to pivot and make shit work out for you. But you cannot keep walking around, especially as an adult, keep walking around giving a fuck about what people think about you or what people say about you. Because what they think and say does not fucking matter. Because if I thought about what people thought about me back then, I was going to be a goofy clown, big as fuck, insecure as fuck, down in the dumps, loser, broke bitch mentality. That's how they want you. They want you right down there with them, with they fucking lame asses. That's exactly where they want you. Because misery loves company. And if you allow people to take your fucking energy, you're going to see how much that depletes you in the fucking long run. And then you're going to be exactly where the fuck they are, miserable as fuck. If you have somewhere you're trying to get to, I'm trying to get in shape, I'm trying to do this, you need to cut the fucking bullshit out. People will affect your dreams, they will affect your goals because they don't give a fuck about them as much as you give a fuck about them. Because if they cared about their shit, they would probably motivate you, uplift you to do the same shit. But because they don't, they want you there in the dumps. They want you at the bars fucking around every fucking day. They want you not giving a fuck about your dreams. They want you bullshitting and constantly mingling your fucking energy with low vibrational NPC losers. And we're not that. We're queens, we're goddesses. Everything we do is intentional. Everything is strategic. Because at the end of the day, we're here to grow. We're here to win. Not only for our family, but for ourselves, for our inner child. We fucking deserve this. You cannot let people's negative shit impact you, affect you. It has to be a fucking shield bubble type shit. I felt haters back then when I was insecure and I was trying to lose weight. I felt the fucking haters. I felt it. Because at the end of the day, we're human. We have our law of discernment. We know, you know. And I felt people fucking hating and not actually believing that when I was going to the gym every day and when I was telling them like, oh, I don't want to hang right now, I'm going to go run real quick. They didn't really believe. They didn't give a fuck. But you know what? I did it. I fucking did it. It changes like that. But it all requires you to, I'm telling you, you cannot care. Even if they're important to you, you need to trust yourself. You have to. Because if you have a dream so strong, nobody should be able to get in the way of that shit. And especially when you channel that alter ego, she doesn't give a fuck. Real ones that love and respect you will understand why you're doing it. They understand why you're protecting your energy. People that want you, like I said, in the gutter with them, they gonna be butthurt. They gonna be like, oh, she switched up on us. She did this. Dude, you know how many fucking people told me, like, you switched up, you did this, you did. I leveled the fuck up. You did not rise up with me, so you got left the fuck behind. I don't regret shit. I'm gonna die one day. I'm gonna be food for bugs. So I have to live a life that is very important to me, and that require, like, I have to do what I gotta do for me. And it's a very empowering thing to do. You feel so free. You're like, oh my God, I am not a people pleaser. Like, I live for me, and whoever loves and respects me, and I love and respect you, we rock together, but I live for me first. That is very important when you're trying to manifest, because I'm telling you, the wrong people can bring you to the gutter. There's so many stories of people that were at their, like, they were in their fucking prime, but because they hung out with the wrong people, fucking alcoholic ass people, to not give a fuck about what people think or say, you have to turn off your phone. Like, I don't know if this helped me from losing weight, but like, I did not honestly really have Instagram or use it all too much, like, at all. I think I used Instagram after I lost the weight, to be honest. But like, when I was on the way there, yeah, I did post pictures and like, I, you know, tried to be confident. Like, I was still a baddie, don't play with a queen. But like, being on the phone as much, I didn't know. I couldn't. Like, my social media was like meal preps, what I eat for breakfast, caloric deficit, core workouts, diastasis recti, because if you've had a baby, your stomach, you know, diastasis recti, TED Talks on self-growth, on self-improvement, and on motivation, David Goggins, Mel Robbins, like, all these people were on my For You page, and I just got consumed into this world of self-empowerment. Knowledge is power. So if you're going to be on social media, don't be always on there comparing yourself, looking at this, looking at it. It's too much on there that's not going to matter in the long run. Think about how much shit you've seen and how much content you've seen in the last week alone. So imagine in the last year, you don't even remember a TikTok that you've watched this same day 2 years ago. So a lot of these videos are they're just brain rot content. You want to do something that's very lucrative, something that's here, something that's physical, and that's working on yourself, working on your own life. So in the long run, you're going to really see that in the 3D world, not just sitting there consuming and looking through the internet world. Turn off the social media, and if you are going to have it, keep all that bullshit to a minimum and start to consume as much knowledge as you can. Let's use these next 5 to 10 years to invest in our growth so we can see that return on investment. Be selfish with your energy. Whoever needs to go needs to motherfucking go. I do want to say 2 quick stories on it. I saw this guy on Instagram Reels talk about how he was in the NBA and how he made it to the NBA, and he said that he literally had to cut off a lot of people and cut off what he watched, and he was lonely. If you surround yourself with the wrong groups of people, or you surround yourself with the wrong content, it's gonna take your energy even though you don't see it. Sometimes this shit will subconsciously take your shit. Be intentional with who you hang out with and who you keep around and the content that you are consuming. They did a study on fleas where they put fleas in a jar, because fleas can jump very high up to like 30 feet, I believe. And they put the fleas in a jar, and after a while, the fleas, their kids type shit, their vertical jump became shorter and shorter because the lid at the top of the jar. So now they couldn't jump high anymore because of this lid. Generationally, we have this lid where we think that we can't do certain things. It's like, no, that's not for me. That can't happen for me. And we have this like imaginary lid at the top of our head, limiting our beliefs, limiting how much we could do. And so you need to realize that the lid needs to come off, and you need to believe that anything is possible, big or small. A lot of people are not at that mentality yet. So when you're that delusional, they're going to fucking hate on you. They're going to be a little questionable, and some might even be curious. But you will see some people that are going to try to drag you down, and it's very important that you keep those people far the absolute fuck away from your ass, because they will try to sabotage you, because they want you at the bottom with them. Humans have this subconscious thing, it's called the crab mentality, where if you put crabs in a bucket and they're trying to get out the bucket and escape, other crabs are also trying to escape, so they like are climbing on top of each other and they keep getting pushed down into this bucket. And human beings, especially when you're in survival, A lot of people are trying to survive, so they're going to subconsciously bring you down. They're not going to be able to rise up. So you need to make sure that you are very intentional with where your energy goes and who the fuck is fucking with you and who's fucking with your bubble. And if you look like the mean guy and you're this is that, remember, nice guys finish last. Only the nice guy is going to get fucking played, fucking used. Nobody's going to give a fuck about them and not respect them. It's the guy that cares about themselves, has self-respect, that's going to get that respect, that's going to have, like, nobody can fuck with you because they know, like, nah, she don't play. Prioritize your life. Because like I said in part 1, you have your why. That is why you need to be selfish with your energy. Whatever your why is why you need to be selfish with your energy. Because you're doing this for a reason. Don't let people knock you off your path because they don't even have a direction. They don't have a fucking purpose. There's so many people walking around with no fucking purpose than there are people that are. So you want to be a part of that percent that is so intentional every day that you open your eyes and every day that you close your eyes to go to sleep. You're so intentional with your energy and growing and manifesting and like building yourself from the ground up. That's the end for part 2. I'm going to leave it off on this. You deserve everything you want in life. You deserve to be happy. It's not for the other man and for them and we don't have it and we're on the sideline. No. I'm telling you right now, we're getting the fuck off the sidelines and we're going to go out there and we're going to be who we want to be. We're going to put ourselves into the shoes of the character that we want to be. The confident, the magnetic, the sexy, bad motherfucking bitch. That's who we're going to step into the shoes of. And we're going to protect that energy. We're going to protect our energy and we're going to continuously pour into our garden so we can grow. I post every single Thursday. If you guys want to listen on the go, I do have my podcast and Spotify links down below in the description. And then if you guys are on podcasts on Spotify, please follow and give this a 5-star rating, my queens. Subscribe and like. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in next week's episode. Mwah. Peace and love. Bye, queens.